like literally are you're the hero and the villain, like
Yeah.
quite literally both.
Yeah.
And the world, the original world, from what I'm understanding, before all those whatever's, she, I'm convinced that she created those. It clearly stated as a kid she could do that shit.
Yeah.
I'm almost convinced she created those. But like it makes sense, yeah, like that one the real world you didn't do it. You didn't. That's what she thought you should have done, maybe, was do it, but you didn't.
Yeah.
And I think she even realizes that, hence why she goes back to you at the end of the game. But she clearly walks through that door and comes back to you. I
Now,
mean, in a no, either back in the normal world or a different world. Either way, she comes back to you after you sold her.
now,
It's really clear.
I don't know what her or what his wife's name was. It wasn't Anna, because I think the only reason he kept on saying Anna was because, and because in the beginning we're like, who the hell is Anna? Anna must be his wife. We had no clue. So what's his real wife's name? Obviously, we don't know. I don't know. And
It's well, hold on. Let me go through that.
and
So you're saying Anna? So I'm pretty sure Anna's his wife, dude.
I don't think
Like,
so because the reason he put AD on his hand, okay, he sold, his daughter, and he's just so like angry at himself, so mad that he's drinking the booze, he's smoking, and obviously when you get drunk you do stupid shit. Maybe he carved that into his hand, just so he could remember what that
yeah,
evil deed that he did, so.
I I I don't know, man. I think Anna is. I still like. I think he like. I don't. It's terrible that I know this. I think he fucking put that on his hand to remember his wife, and then he drank himself into shit, and then fucking to create new memories. Your typical alcoholic faggot.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think he wanted to create new memories, but keep that memory of her. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, and
It's.
then
I mean,
when you kill Comstock, I really should have done this. I should have when he drowned him and bang his head on the little bird bath. I should have went over by his hand and looked to see if I could see AD. That would have explained a lot. Like little Easter eggs like that. The director, the producers, that would probably I know they would do that. So if we saw an AD, then it would give us a bigger picture. But if we didn't see an AD, then what would happen? You know what I mean? Like in his world, in oh man, everything is crazy in my head right now. Hold on, let me think. Let me think a second. Comstock. If he didn't have the 80 on his head, because we think that Comstock is Booker DeWitt, in a different life. Maybe in that life he didn't have an AD. He didn't mark himself in there, and he just got power hungry, I guess, when he got dunked in religiousness, and then that comes to the fact that how did he know that he had an AD on his hand? Because he said the false prophet will have an AD on his hand. Now, if he had an AD on his hand when he died, that would mean that he knew that maybe someone else was going to get here, because he knew that Elizabeth had powers, and she could do that shit where bringing somebody else in. So if he had AD, he would just be like, hey, false prophet, if someone has an AD on their hand, go get them because they are false, and he knows that that's himself. So go kill him because I want this world to be like it is because I love her and I don't want to do anything for her. Oh my gosh.
I just, man, after saying that, I just fucking mind fucked myself again, dude. God damn it.
I'm sorry, man.
All right,
I just
no, no,
mind
you're
my
good.
fucked myself right there. I just
All
went
right,
craziness.
I think I get it. Because in every paradox, he refuses. He refuses the. In every world, he refused. This, I think, this is what happened. In every world, he actually did refuse it. Right?
Yes.
He did do it.
Yeah.
He refused. Well, not necessarily every world. I think he refuses the. He refuse it or not, it keeps happening. Like this paradox. We go back to our previous
There's a
thing.
loop.
It's a loop. Hence the infinite. Like, ignore her infinite. The loop. This whole scenario. I mean, if you think about it, the whole scenario keeps happening over and over again because the past. Catches the past meets his future, and then all that happens, and then he grows up in that current one that fucked with his futuristic one.
Yeah.
Grows up to the that keeps happening until he's drowned.
Yeah.
That killed him. That ended it.
Uh,
I think. I still think the plot still stayed the same. I think Elizabeth he chose to end it because I don't quite understand why this time around in the loop he was in, whatever it may be, I don't quite understand how or why he figured out or how Elizabeth, something changed suddenly or something. So there was an outside whatever
yeah.
change, but I mean, it still really stays. It still isn't that confusing. I do think there's a loop of that scenario, the
Yeah.
whole game literally happening over and over again until he's drowned, which
Yeah.
effectively kills him. And then I think she chose to walk through the door to restart things,
Yeah.
for the both of them. But I mean, he died. He
Yeah.
ended the loop.
Yeah.
That's why all those other Annas disappeared.
Yeah.
I think that makes more sense.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, Bioshock Infinite means infinite, and it was It's clearly in most games. This is not be the first game that does future and past, and they almost all have the same way. That they almost behave the same form. That they keep it effectively keeps happening forever.
Yeah, and when they you could take this both ways. At the end, we keep on talking about this, or I keep talking about this. But at the end, you say, Anna, is that you? You could take it both ways. You could take it and say, the loop just kept on going, or you could say that the loop ends. But we're saying
That's true.
We're saying because the way he talks, I'm analyzing the way his voice. I think the loop is over, and he's starting a new life in the right way. And then that's why Anna opened the door and she wanted it to be normal.
So at the very beginning, before there was these realities, before he decided to fuck with the past, the minute Comstock, we'll just call him whatever, the minute he stuck his hand in the past to get his daughter, was in that loop can never end. That it has to continue because that guy, him as the past is gonna have to go through that again when he's older.
Yeah.
And he's gonna know that.
Uh-huh.
I don't think he knows that growing up, but I don't think that it's infinite because he can't realize it. I think there's got to be something I'm missing in the game that it had to be explained. That for an infinite paradox to be interrupted, something else has to happen.
You know what?
Something has to interrupt it.
Maybe the reason Comstock killed the sister and the brother and Lady Comstock is because maybe they were helping the girl. Maybe the brother and the sister were helping the girl, because you see them always jumping. They always disappear, helping Booker DeWitt.
That's true. That is a good point. I know that I'm pretty sure that's what happened, but something. I'll have to play the game again or go read or cheat and read about it, but something had to happen. It must have been a big part of the story I'm forgetting or something, but something had to interrupt the fucking infinite loop, the paradox. Something had to change in one of them because otherwise he would continue to refuse the baptism and never be drowned, and this would continue to happen over and over and over. But he let his daughter drown him. Finally.
Yeah. So let's go to the we have 6 people in here just listening to us. So what are you guys confused about? What do you think we're just off our rocker and we're just crazy, just like Comstock, or do you have something to say? Like what is your input on this matter? Because they threw us an Inception ending is pretty much what they did. We're saying that there was a loop before and now it ended. Because I analyzed the voice and the way he talks, he's like, Anna, is that you? We're thinking the loop ended and boom, there's a new life. He doesn't go crazy. He's not Comstock, and that's it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
she chose the last door she was able to open.
So
since she killed him.
What are your guys' input on the story? If you guys have played Bioshock, or if you just don't want to play and you just want to hear me talking about what happened. So what are you confused about? We're confused about there had to be something that in the story that was huge that made him not. What did you say, Pinks?
Not even made him something in the loop, which something that wasn't in the loop to begin with had to have done something like an outside source from a different world. Like it's probably Elizabeth. I'd imagine has to do something with her because she's the only one that can seem to jump worlds and make new worlds and make tears. Because she said she could find tears, right? But she used to be able to use tears to get to places. She
Yeah.
mentions that. So it's definitely something to do with Elizabeth. But for some reason, during one of the loops, during one of the phases of it going on and on, she did something. Either I mean, purposely or not purposely, but something had to screw with an infinite loop. Something from an outside source had to screw with it to change it because the
Yeah.
people in it are going to continue to do the same thing they always did.
Um. So Zombie Rave said, I think he sold his daughter as Comstock. Yeah, he sold his daughter as Comstock in all other worlds, and the change in the timeline is that he didn't take the baptism. So I think
I, I don't know. I don't know because like I don't think so. It even kind of hints at it that he. I mean, I can see that, but I mean, if you play this, you can play the beginning of the game. I think he starts like you see him lose his daughter. He changes his mind at the very end, but they take her anyways. He doesn't want to do it. I think that drives him into being Comstock. That's that one moment where he
yeah,
officially. I mean, that's where he lost his daughter. That's what caused him to drink and become a fucking loser.
yeah, that's what I
But
think.
but then again, but what he just said, Zombie's right too, though, because if he became a loser and drank, he definitely didn't take the fucking baptism and became a fucking religious leader.
Yeah,
So that makes sense. But what made him not take? Well, we just saw that Elizabeth brought him. That answers it. She brought him back to that place where all those crazy fucking idiots were, and he said he didn't want to dip his head in some fucking water. It wasn't going to change anything, which he was right.
yeah.
You're right. That's what changed.
Is that
Elizabeth
not dipping
changed it.
him in the
Yeah.
water?
He went over there. She's like, "You have to do it." He's like, "Fuck this. I'm not doing
But
it." He
she said
didn't do it.
you didn't do this before. He said, why didn't you do it before? Because he was about to.
Yo, zombie, whoever you are, you're amazing. You just answered the question. That's what changed in the loop. That he had a second chance from Elizabeth, but and every time, and she knows in every world he did it. He went ahead and took it like an idiot. But for some stupid reason, he said fuck it, which in things fixed everything. That's why that explains it because he had to because in all those infinite loops he goes through this weird walk with Elizabeth, right?
Hmm.
He goes through all this. This is part of the loop because she creates it, and that makes so much sense. Thank God you said that.
So
Like
that's the change
because
in the.
that's when he becomes Comstock. When he takes the baptism, all that ends. And he becomes that religious leader in that because she takes him through all those doors, and then he becomes that religious fucking powerhouse, crazy with power and whatever. Gets his kid back, but that makes so much sense.
And then he starts
Because
researching about like tears and all this
it's
crap like that, and he knows his daughter from. Okay, yeah,
that makes I'm not even really confused anymore. That burnt like that makes total sense to me. It makes a lot of sense because I was wrong. He wasn't drinking after he sold his daughter in regret. He didn't drink himself to calm. That wouldn't make sense. You wouldn't be a religious leader if you're drunk all the time.
yeah.
That makes so much sense.
Well, I think in the beginning he was
becomes a
drinking.
religious leader the day that when in every loop where she brings him to that fucking the area.
Uh,
She drop. I think that's what happens.
well, like
Because like
when he sells her, I think he does drink. I think there's a time period where I think he's in a slump because if you do something like that, you're not the next day or
Yeah,
like you know.
you're right, because you're right about that, because I don't think he goes through that walk to the worlds in every loop with her. I think it's what's different. I think the first time, like she says, because in that life where that life that you're playing as right now, she brings you back to the past to watch you, right, to see if you'll do it again, right?
Yeah.
I think you already, because he said I'd been there already in that life. He remembered it. So I see that he refused that way. You didn't actually walk through all that stuff with Elizabeth over and over through every playthrough of that game that's supposedly happening, right?
Mm.
Like, he refused it. She brings him back. She's simply showing him why things are different, I think, and answering his questions. Because she knows he's going to refuse it right there.
Um.
And she asks you why. Why did you do it? Yeah, that's what happened. He refused it. He did. I think he did drink himself, but then he goes to change himself, and he does every time except this one time.
So now I also. So this had been another world because obviously. Anna or Elizabeth drags you. She's like, I've only had enough power to drag you into this world, and she drags you. It's wintertime, and you're like, what the hell is in wintertime? It's supposed to be July, June, and summer, blah blah blah. And she walks you up, and that world, I guess, would be that she helped Comstock and take over the world. I guess it's New York, and you see, the
That
floating cities.
that's what happened.